Then we start with the mics. Then we transition over. I never really set up your camera. Sorry.
There we go.
Now we go over, and it's maybe gonna happen. Maybe this time. Second click. That's the way we get by. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Wait, Did I Roll a Wild? A Marvel Crisis Protocol Pavlog here on the Professional Casual Network. I am the guy talking into this camera. My name is Tim, and I will be your host this evening. With me this evening, sitting in his own chair,
I like this chair a lot.
is the man, is the Dan, the myth, the legend. It's Dan.
Hey! You couldn't say guy behind the computer because I didn't bring it down.
It's the guy that is on the other side of the computer as I am.
Oh, yeah!
Nice. It's Dan from dancoleauthor.com.
Hey, yeah, that's a website I have.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever promoted it on a show.
So we're here. We're talking about some Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff. We're going to go over mine and Dan's game from Monday on the Power Phase, which is over on the twitch.tv/Professional Casual Network. We're also going to talk about Honey Badger's card. We're going to talk about all of those little hench folks, those minions, those grunts.
Grunts.
And, maybe even wildly speculate, because that's the one thing everyone comes to this show for, on Shadowlands Daredevil.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe some Elektra. And we got some confirmations about maybe a new affiliation leader.
I said we do know a teeny tiny bit about Shadowlands Daredevil. Just a little bit.
We know as much as I can see through the Cyclops visors when we stream on Monday.
Or the Star-Lord
Or the Star-Lord
mask I
mask.
wore on Monday.
Yeah, so,
Mitch.
the good news is that regardless of the weather, visibility is low on the Power Phase. But let's get right into it. Hobby, thoughts, and what we've done this week. Dan, have you put brushes to models this week?
Well, I have since I've been on the show last.
Yeah, legitimate.
Because it's been a little while.
It has been a bit.
Was it the day before New Year's Eve?
Yes.
You guys were recording down here. Danny was able to join because I came down with the flu.
The flu.
Sucked.
That's right.
But that was the last night I had painted stuff. I got most of the convocation done. I finished up Dr. Voodoo, Ancient One, Clea. I added the little swirly doos on her legs.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool. And the other one that I got done, Baron Mordo. So I still have Hood and Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme for that wave to finish up.
Yeah.
They're primed. I haven't gotten any paint on them yet. Will eventually.
Prime's a paint. I think Prime counts.
It count. I mean, it's something.
Yeah.
I've got Hulkbuster and little baby Iron Man inside are like partly done.
Okay.
Hulkbuster is such a big model. There's just so much to do with him. Like, just doing the base coat of red probably was an hour of work at least, because it's just massive. And then it was like 2 minutes on baby Iron Man.
Yeah.
My Dormammu is like, I think he's mostly base coated. I was trying to go for like a classic, like original Dormammu look with a lot of like magenta and purple.
Yeah.
And then what I had for paints, it just didn't really do what I wanted it to do. And then I went over it with another purple. Then I was like, actually kind of like this. It's like reverse shading where like the recesses around like his muscles have like a light magenta look where the everything else is a light purple. It's hard to describe, but I think
like an
it
underglow
works,
almost.
kind of, yeah. And it works because it's Dormammu.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stick with that. Eventually he'll get done because I wanted to use him for like a month now and just haven't.
Yeah.
Other things have come up, other theme list, and he wasn't painted. And all the fire on him's gonna take forever.
Well, and I know you were gonna play him the 1 week that you had the flu, that Taylor filled in.
Right. Yeah, my plan was to get him done that weekend, and then I was laid on the couch. Was not fun. So I feel you, Mitch. That's too bad. Mitch said he has the flu right now too. Blech.
That's a damn shame. Make sure to go over to Mitch's house and leave him some soup.
Ramen noodles.
Yes, ramen noodles.
That's all I wanted when I had Count Chocula, because Danny got me 2 boxes of Count Chocula for Christmas because she's the best. And then I was like, I just want ramen noodles and those body armor drinks.
Yeah, those body armor drinks as well, if you're having difficulty lactating after you've first given birth, will help you produce milk.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I drank like 6 of those while
Yeah,
I was sick.
you're probably lactating like a fiend right now.
Why do you think I have a flannel over my new, oh yeah, the power, or wait, did I roll wild shirt?
Nice. It is a nice shirt. I just absolutely adore that Chuck's face is MODOK, and he just has the little tiny baby arms and stuff under it.
Yeah, that's so good.
Whoever came up with that idea, Justine, you are an absolute legend.
She has the best ideas.
Does
I
have the best
really,
ideas.
really appreciate the joke for mine where it's just me, but I'm not really cosplaying, but I'm holding a bucket of ice.
Nice
And when
man.
I first saw the image, I laughed so hard because I was like, I love it. I love it.
I apparently the artist had originally done me, or was going to originally do me as Scarlet Witch, and I thought that was the
Okay.
greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen.
I mean, Wiccan is still
Wiccan,
cool.
Wiccan is still baller,
Yeah.
absolutely baller. But anyway, let's jump right into it because I did some hobby stuff this week.
Wait, what?
Yep, I have all the custom battle foam for Marvel Crisis Protocol, and this past weekend, or actually this week after the game on Monday that you and I played, I put them all away in their battle foam.
That's your hobby? You put the models in the foam?
Hold on. It's not labeled. There's 9 of them. There's 9 releases for each wave. I had no idea what the fuck was supposed to go where.
Who goes where? I don't know.
So I went onto the Battle Foam website and looked up pictures of each individual one, and Marvel Crisis Protocol isn't like a huge product on there. So like I had to type in Marvel Crisis Protocol every time and then try to figure out which wave was the one I was trying to put things away for.
Oh my gosh.
And then scroll through the pictures until I could see the picture of like the top down with all the models inside it.
Okay.
And then try to guess who is who in each slot. So there's a couple of them that were a little bit difficult. Black Panther, because he's crouched down so low. Spider-Gwen or Ghost Spider and Miles Morales Spider-Man were also very difficult. Very nondescript from the top at an angle.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
So the big models, I was like, oh, that's definitely Venom. It's a huge piece. Hela and Ghost Rider, I got confused as well, because I was like, well, I see little spiky things on the head, but they both kind of have longer...
They're on different size bases, though.
So I know. I know that.
This sounds like a struggle.
It was difficult. It was incredibly difficult, but I got through it. I got everyone put away except for, the most recent 12 models that don't have a battle foam for it yet. So Lizard's still homeless.
Oh, he's the best.
Lizard and Kraven, all of the new Convocation models. But no, Mitch, I completely agree. Here's the thing. So Mitch said that battle foam is a waste unless you travel for big events. I don't travel at all. I've never been to an event. So...
That's not true. You were the only one at the event.
Oh, yeah. That's fair. I didn't bring any battle foam, though. Yeah, so I was the only one at our tournament at Bearded Dragon Games on the day after New Year's Day. But here's the good news. I bought a shit ton of board games. Like, a lot of them. Like, every potential thing that you could buy for a game called Dice Thrones.
Oh, yeah.
So-
We're going to play tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited
I'm
about
excited. I want to do some streaming of that in the future, too.
But I think that would be a great stream game. Maybe we'll stream it on TikTok, too. We just hit 1,000 followers on TikTok, so now we can go live on TikTok. Yeah. Yeah, that's us. We're famous now. You know?
We were talking about that in the Discord the other day, about what is celebrity.
Yeah, that's true. Not us. But
That Bastion thinks so.
that's very true. But I bought the first couple because I just wanted a place to put them. And I don't have a place to put them in my home that I feel is safe.
Yeah, not with...
Not with a toddler,
Yeah.
not with a cat that just literally only wants to destroy my things that I don't want him near.
Of course, that's what cats do.
So Battle Foam has worked very well for that. I need something else. I adore your glass case that you have. I want something
Love
like
it.
that, but I don't know where I'd put it, and I don't know how a toddler and a cat would break it, but they would.
They would knock the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
No, it'd be donezo.
Yeah, I got that case from IKEA like 10 years ago.
Oh, that's an IKEA one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should go to IKEA.
Oh, no.
No, rent a U-Haul. I love
Yeah,
that
it's
idea.
super easy to spend way too much money at IKEA. that case Danny and I built was before we had any kids, and we had Fantasia on for some reason, watching Fantasia building this case, and we got almost done, and I realized we put like the very bottom shelf piece on upside down, so like something else didn't work. So I had to take like almost the whole thing apart, flip that one thing over, put it all back together again, which made it take like twice as long. There's a lot of swearing involved.
I mean, this is a very long tangent, but I got a dresser a number of years ago that I was super excited for. It had built-in USB and surge protector and all this stuff, and the top opened up. So it had like 2 drawers on the front and then a big open bay on the bottom, and then the top opened up so you could like put things in it, and it would never close all the way. So it was on purpose.
Oh, on purpose.
So cords could come out of it.
Oh.
So it would rest naturally without slamming on the cords.
Nice.
The person who put it together, not me, did it in a way where the top closed completely.
They thought it was supposed to go
and ruined the entire function of this specialized nightstand.
Oh.
So I just got a new nightstand after 6 years of struggling with this one that was very shoddily put together and fell apart several times. And I love it, but I have awful depth ratio perception.
Okay.
I can't visualize what 12 inches is in my head, like in a room. I'm like, I don't know, 12 inches, that sounds probably pretty small, but I just don't know.
Okay.
So I ordered this thing, and I love it. It's great. It's just very tiny.
Oh.
So now I'm at this point where I have 2 dressers. One's busted and broken and doesn't function for its primary purpose. And the other one I adore, but just isn't big enough. I just want to grab the corner of it and drag it out and make it bigger. But it just doesn't work like that. But enough about my nightstands.
What are we talking about on the show? Furniture, right?
I went over this at the beginning of the show. I was like, we're talking about Honey Badger and Grunts and Shadowlands Daredevil and my nightstand situation. And also how, even though I have all this battle foam for MCP, it would not work for tournaments because it's all set by waves. So I'd have to bring all of it to fill my roster.
That's why I put little magnets underneath my the bases of my models. So when I bring them to the store to do, the power phase, I just pop them in a metallic lunchbox that I'd gotten for like a Christmas present from my mom years ago. I got a little Avengers one and then like a Captain America one. I throw them in there unless they're too big, and then they just go in the box of all the MCP stuff, tokens and everything.
Yeah.
So most models can fit in the lunchbox, or if they're like Thor is too tall because I gave him some lightning on top of his hammer, he just goes on the side of the lunchbox. Then he fits fine.
I was thinking about what I might invest in is I really like Chuck's Magnarack setup.
Those are
just
sweet.
how he has everything in there.
Yeah.
But then I got to go through and like glue stuff, and then have to like update this show every week about the hobby stuff I did by gluing magnets to the bottom of bases. And I kind of don't want to ruin my track record. So
yeah, it's not bad when you glue the magnets on
as you go.
So like I do 2 to 16 at a time, however much comes out in a month from AMG. But like Hulkbuster, I didn't bother magnetizing because he's not going to fit in anything. He's
right.
Or Dormammu, I didn't bother magnetizing them because they're never going to go in the lunchbox anyway. But the lunchbox is just the real cheap version of the nice thing that Chuck has.
Yeah.
Free because it was a gift.
Ravensguard says you have a one-night stand issue. Yeah, that's the issue. I have too many one-night stands. Now they're just everywhere. But let's get into Honey Badger before I continue on this tangent.
She's a child.
She is. I don't.
Gabby Kinney.
Gabrielle.
She goes by Gabby.
Her friends call her Gabby, Dan.
I'm her friend.
You're friends with a child, Dan.
I'm a teacher,
I don't know if that makes it better.
So Honey Badger, when they announced this, I was like, wait, really? Honey Badger?
Honey Badger's rad as shit.
Which I didn't, I learned about Honey Badger when she was in the X-Men Red run, where Jean was leading her own team right before the relaunch with Dawn of X. And I fell in love with her immediately. I think she's super funny.
Yes.
She's just kind of a goofball. And just
a rabid goofball.
Oh yeah, and she's like wild. I love it. I liked her character immediately. I knew nothing about her.
Yeah.
Other than she had some really obviously to Wolverine, and at the time I think I think X-23 was still Wolverine at that point. They were
Yeah.
both on that team. And I was like, who's this character? She's great. And then so they announced her. I was like, okay, I'm in.
I got introduced to her. I don't know if it was in All New Wolverine or if it was in a Deadpool comic, but I remember her and Deadpool having a like casual conversation while a zombie sloth slowly moved towards them in a hospital.
That sounds awesome.
Um,
I've been reading All New Wolverine, but I haven't got there yet. I'm only like 6 issues in or
I don't know if
something.
it's actually in that one or where that came from, but I saw an excerpt of it and then like had to go find that issue on Marvel Digital Comics Unlimited and was just like, oh my god, these characters are so good. I really like
Yeah.
Honey Badger a lot, and I've always really liked X-23 too, because it kind of had all the cool parts of Wolverine without all of the parts that I hate.
Yeah, she is like your idealized version of Wolverine.
Yeah, very much so.
X-23.
Yep, 100%.
And Gabby's just kind of like, she's more similar to Laura than to Logan.
Mm-hmm.
She's just a little unhinged,
Yes,
but really funny.
correct.
So I was really excited by this very surprise release. I would have expected.
Iceman first, yeah, probably.
Well, yeah, I wasn't gonna go there because it hurts me every time.
Uh-huh.
But X-23, I would have expected not too far down the line because she's relatively new and pretty popular. But I never would have guessed Honey Badger
Yeah,
would have gotten
I figured Dakin first, maybe.
before those two. Absolutely.
Yep.
Which
And maybe not before X-23, but before Honey Badger for sure. The thing that I love about Wolverine clones, and I think we touched on this briefly last week, Chuck and I did, or Danny and I did, whoever it was.
whoever was in the
They
basement.
just they have the same personality.
Careful, she might be watching.
Yeah. Talking about how every clone of Wolverine gets one less claw on their arm.
Yes, absolutely.
And I absolutely adore that she's just got the punch daggers.
Yep, because she's not a clone of Wolverine. She's a clone of
Yeah.
X-23,
she's a
which is why her
photocopy.
name is Kinney.
She's a photocopy
Also.
of a fax.
Yes. So you lose a little bit of that quality every time. But she's super cool. I love her story where, yeah, she's a clone of Laura Kinney, one of a bunch. But I love the idea that she can't feel pain,
Yeah.
which is cool. Those clones could not feel pain. She's got a limited healing factor, which I guess came later because initially in the All New Wolverine run, she didn't have a healing factor.
Yep.
It must come, just something must trigger that or something. I love that she's got cool scars on her face, and then the single claw is just kind of funny. Like with X-23 having 2 claws and then the feet claws were just kind of like, really? Feet? Okay, whatever.
Or Dakin's where the one comes out of the wrist, too.
Yeah, underneath is just, it looks awkward,
Yeah.
weird. But yeah, this was nice. So I like what she does at face value on the card as well.
So do I. I actually love this model. I love the card. I love the abilities. Very specifically, ankle biter.
Yes.
Um,
And also, I will real quickly say that I like her card a lot more after our game from Monday. We'll talk about it later, and I'll talk more about why.
yes. So Honey Badger is a 2 threat.
Yeah.
5 stamina, medium movement, size 2, 3/2/2 for defenses. But actually pretty low.
Not bad for a 2 threat, though.
Right. I mean,
5
Bullseye,
stamina is nice for a 2 threat.
it is. So, and I think that's the trade-off is I felt bullseyes were a little low. I think it's pretty rare for us to see defenses under 3s now. In
Yeah.
the initial run, they gave us a couple, but from then, I mean, Okoye's all 3s. Rocket is one I'm going to skip for this particular example.
Like, that doesn't fit your.
But he has
your
cover.
point.
So,
Yeah, we saw how good that can be.
correct. So her basic attack, her builder, as we all know, every threat 2. We're not even worrying about threat 3s anymore because they super outweigh the 3 threats with 4 strength builders. A 2 threat with another 5 strength builder. Range 2.
Nice.
Claw slash. Straightforward. I mean, it's adamantium slash without the pierce. Gains power equal to the damage dealt and bleed on a wild. And then her spender, a little underwhelming, but she is a 2 threat, called Hamstring, range 2, strength 5, 3 power to pull off, elusive on a wild, and if the attack deals damage, the target gains slow and bleed.
That's nice. It's basically Lizard's spender with 1 less die, but elusive on a wild, so she can advance medium after the attack is resolved,
Yes.
which is nice.
It's incredibly mobile, and for 3 is actually relatively cheap.
And like you said, she's a 2-threat. You're not going to get a 7. No, well, never mind. I almost said 7 die attack, but again, Rocket breaks that rule.
Right. Well, and here's the thing too, is that when you take a look at this, Steel Rush on Baron Zemo is kind of the quintessential standard. 6 power, or I'm sorry, 6 strength, 2 power, has a guaranteed medium movement afterwards. This is on a wild. It's 1 more power for 1 less strength, but it does slow and bleed instead of just the bleed. So, I mean, there's a balancing act there, and I don't think it's super underwhelming either.
I think it's okay.
There's not a whole ton else to spend her power on, too, so you're probably going to be actually pulling this off on a pretty consistent basis.
Yeah, like literally one other thing to spend power on.
Correct.
Which you're not going to be doing that often.
Yeah, I guess when you want to make sure those new grunts stay on the table, you might. But she also has 2 dangerous to ignore for 2 power. This is a reactive. When an enemy character within range 2 of this character targets another allied character with an attack, this character may use this superpower. This character becomes the target of the attack regardless of range or line of sight. So, very basic bodyguard.
Yeah, she's got a bodyguard, which I think is interesting.
Yes.
I wouldn't have expected that, but I haven't read enough about the character yet.
At least from my recollection, she is constantly like jumping in front of attacks for other people that really do not need it.
Well, she can't feel it, and she's going to heal it anyway.
Correct.
So I think it's really good on her with healing factors, with a slightly above average stamina for 2-threat and healing factor. It really makes her a prime target for that.
Yes.
And then with the ankle biter, no, never mind. That's only offensive.
And so let's get to ankle biter though. So this is an innate. This is what excites me about this character.
Yes, this is like her bread and butter here.
This character cannot contest, interact, or hold objective tokens.
Shucks.
Additionally, when an enemy character within range 1 of this character is attacked by another allied character, the enemy character rolls 1 less defense die. That's incredible. That is so good.
She has a incinerate aura. I mean, it's only within 1. But
still,
she wants to get up close and personal anyway. Her attacks are only range 2, so she wants to get right up in there.
And she has elusive on a spender too.
Yeah, so she gets up there relatively easily. I love that.
It's not a special condition. It stacks with incinerate, which is has already been leaps and bounds my favorite special condition.
Same.
It's great.
I didn't expect a debuff on her. I thought she'd be pure offense, but this debuff is so good.
And it is, like, thematically, narratively, it is, in fact, offensive, obviously.
Right.
But
she's just kind of there being obnoxious.
Correct. You just have this tiny Wolverine just stabbing you in the ankles. Like, it's only 1 claw in each hand, but, like, it's really annoying. Like,
still hurts.
And when we have a bunch of newly buffed beefcake powerhouses like Hulk and Ghost Rider and stuff like that, who's immune to incinerate. You have Dormammu immune to incinerate. Pretty much every ultimate encounter immune to incinerate. You throw Honey Badger in there. They have to deal with her now. Correct. Yeah. And that's why I love her. Not only does she have the bodyguard in case someone's like, fine, whatever, I'll take the 1 lower defense. It's fine. It's not a big deal. She can then decide, no, you are dealing with me because I got not a whole else less to spend my power on. It's going to happen. And here is the Wombo combo, right? The other innate, Lil Sis. If an allied Laura Kinney within range 3 of this character is damaged by an enemy effect, after the effect is resolved, this character may advance medium towards the character that damaged Laura Kinney. This character may move only once per turn as a result of this superpower. Here's the thing that you're going to need to be careful of. 3 is actually a pretty decent range to keep these characters near each other with.
6 inches.
Right. So I don't want to attack Laura Kinney from range if ankle biter's there. She's just going to be coming after me. It's like it's my job to keep Hawkeye away from Honey Badger. And anytime I try to shoot Laura Kinney or someone within range 2 of Honey Badger, she's gonna be there, and she's either gonna take it and then heal it, or
and then then you have to deal with ankle biter. And I do like that it's specified toward, but that's still a pretty big area. You put that 90 degrees, and like she essentially just has to end closer to to X-23, so she can really...
No, she ends closer to the attacking character. She can move
towards the character that damaged.
Yes.
Oh, that's even better. Okay.
So if she's in the middle of the two, she can move right towards there. You know what I mean?
Right in there, and then your activation, you got one. You're attacking with your opponent has one fewer defense die. I love it. I like it a lot. I first read her over. Her attacks seem a little underwhelming at first. Not her builder, sorry. Her spender seems a little underwhelming at first.
Yes.
But she's a 2-threat. Now, the ankle biter doesn't affect her attacks, right? It's only allied attacks.
Allied attacks, yes.
So it's not like it's a 5-strength spender, but
that she's getting the benefit of too. Right.
So that hurts it a little bit. Yeah, attacked by another allied character. So she doesn't benefit from her own ankle biterness. And I feel like that's okay. Like, she's a 2-threat. She's a utility piece that can do some damage sometimes, which is cool.
She's a massive annoyance. She's another Bullseye. I adore Bullseye because for the most part he can get somewhat ignored because you're like, well, I can block four strength attacks all day.
Never. Never works for me.
And then fair.
I could block when you roll 9 dice and roll 2 hits all the time, but when you roll 4 dice, you get 4 or 5 hits.
Right. Especially on Bullseye.
Yes, absolutely.
Ravenscar did say, I thought Stagger was your favorite condition. Yeah, shit, I think you might be right. But here's the thing.
Stagger is stupid good.
I love Incinerate. You're right, though. If I can put Stagger on someone, I'm going for it.
The thing is, Stagger does its thing and it's done. It's really, really good, but it does its thing and it's done.
Yeah.
Incinerate is every turn you're like, do I use an action to get rid of it, or do I just eat those fewer dice? There's always that almost frustration for the opponent that's like, because is it worth it? Probably, but losing an action is huge.
Right. So I think it depends. So if it's on me, I hate having Stagger on me a lot more than I hate having Incinerate. Because I'm going to roll 0 successes on my defense roll anyway. It doesn't matter.
Okay, fair.
It does not matter at all how many dice I roll. And here's the thing with Stagger. If I put Stagger on someone, I almost guarantee that's the one roll this game I spiked and dazed it anyway.
Yes. Oh, yes. Absolutely.
I think it happened this past week. Didn't I Stagger someone and kill him?
No. Yes.
Yeah.
You did. The other time, you got it off twice. The other time, I just ignored it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Honey Badger a lot. I can't wait to try her out. I did order the Trident models of these two just because they have more of their original look that I'll probably be using on the table. I'll obviously still buy the box for the cards and the tactics cards. I'll probably end up painting the other ones as well.
I mean, the cool thing with that is that you can do them in different ways. You know what I mean? If you want the mask on one, you can put the mask on one.
Exactly. So I was
or
really
is that specifically what the other one has?
Yeah, so the Trident models, the X-23 is dressed like all new Wolverine in the Wolverine suit, so she'll be blue and yellow. And then Honey Badger's in like her X-Men red costume. That's a little Wolverine-ish, but she's got like those cool goggles.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about that look. I love it. Because I was really disappointed that there's no options in the X-23 Honey Badger box.
Yeah.
Which I thought was Wolverine, you had 2 different heads. Why does this Wolverine not have 2 different heads?
They probably way outdid it on that initial X-Men release because they knew that was a huge announcement.
Yeah.
And you have a bunch of really iconic looks when, outside of, I don't want to say like diehard fans, but we were both aware of who Honey Badger was. I don't think a lot of other people may have been.
I don't think it was as bad as Cassandra Nova, but I totally agree. A lot of people are like, who's this? Another Wolverine? We get 3 Wolverines before Iceman?
I mean, probably.
But I get that they decided to go with their current look. X-23, or Honey Badger's currently with the New Mutants, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And that's her current costume, and X-23... I don't know if she's affiliated with the team right now. She's just kind of on Krakoa because she's not in X-Force at the moment. I'm not sure.
It's got to be weird. X-Force is a really specific team of X-Men. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, right now there's only like 3 people on X-Force.
Right, but like they're the mutant murder squad.
Yes.
And it seems a little weird to have like a 14-year-old girl on the murder squad.
I think she might even be younger than that.
Right.
But I know what you mean, yeah.
They had an X-Force team fall apart because someone killed a kid once. Like it was a child apocalypse.
Wasn't a kid apocalypse?
Right, but he was but he was a baby Apocalypse.
Yeah, that Rick Remender run was Rick Remender or Matt Fraction?
It was Rick Remender.
Was amazing. If you haven't read that one yet, read
Uncanny X-Force.
Uncanny X-Force was so good, and then it rolled into Uncanny Avengers, which was just as good because he continued his own storyline through that, and it was amazing.
And probably some of the best, not the best, but way up there for some of the best Deadpool writing. Where he strode that line between like dad of the group that was actually the moral compass sometimes,
which was weird,
and also dad of the group making sure everyone else stayed alive, feeding Archangel pieces of his skin while he was unconscious.
Oh, that was so messed up,
and
but so good.
Deadpool pop-up tent on the moon.
Yeah.
Ah,
the blue area of the moon, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
That was a great run. Do yourself a favor, find that, read it. It's so good.
Art's incredible too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Jerome Opeña is the artist.
Yeah.
Who I love. He did 7 to Eternity. I believe was also Rick Remender. That series it's only 17 issues long.
Yeah.
So good. I think it's by Image. Really, really cool.
But all of my X-Force characters are that
gray and black look.
Gray and black from that
run. Wait for Phantom X. Because he was on that team too.
He was.
Because it was Wolverine, Phantom X, Daredevil, not Daredevil, good lord, Deadpool. Archangel, and Psylocke, right? Was that
Wolverine.
it?
Did you say Wolverine?
I said Wolverine, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was the whole team. I think there were the little changes here and there, but I think that was the core team.
Well, and they ended up switching to a drastically different group when they switched the Uncanny X-Force. After Uncanny X-Force kind of became Uncanny Avengers.
Well, yeah, because it was like half Avengers, half X-Men, which was cool. It had like Rogue, obviously Captain America,
Quicksilver, Deadpool.
I think Wonder Man was on that team.
Maybe briefly.
I don't know. Really cool run. Rick Remender, I don't think gets enough credit.
Oh, absolutely. But that follow-up team it was Storm, Puck.
What?
Yeah. Psylocke and one of Phantom X's Phantom X's whole deal is he has 3 nervous systems.
Oh yeah, they like kept making more. Like he was like, "Oh yeah, I actually had a third one this whole time." Hey.
Well, one was the spaceship, one was Eva, and then there was like a darker part of his personality, Cluster, I think. So they all got separated.
I think I missed that part.
Yeah, so they all got separated. The spaceship nervous system ended up becoming a like female Phantom X.
Oh yeah.
And then there was Cluster that was like their third evil twin out there somewhere that kind of became an antagonist that they were constantly trying to hunt down.
I haven't ever read that part of it. I've never seen Cluster.
It's rad. I love his story so much. Effectively, he's Weapon X of the internet. It's like, yeah, people kept raiding Weapon X facilities, so we just made it digital. We put it in the cloud. So he grew up for like 60 years in the internet with this like AI just called the Mother that like raised him in internet Siberia.
That part of it sounds familiar. So maybe I have read stuff with this character.
Yeah, you might have.
Oh man, I've been rereading Grant Morrison's run for New X-Men, the introduction of Phantom X and everything.
That was when he's in France as a cat burglar, right?
He's the world's greatest thief, but
yeah. Dicking around with Professor X and Jean.
Yeah. Oh, I love how he's written. I don't know. Phantom X is. I'd be okay with seeing him before Iceman. I'll say it.
I appreciate.
I'd be okay with it. I wouldn't really like it, but
right.
So the last thing about Honey Badger, when she flips, she loses 1 stamina. I think is the only difference. She's got 4 on that side.
Yeah, that's the only one I see. And then just we mentioned it briefly, but officially, healing factor 1.
Yeah. Which is okay. I'm fine with healing factor 1.
Yeah.
She's a 2 threat. She shouldn't have healing factor 2.
That would be
a bit too good.
It'd be a bit aggressive.
So where do you see? We're assuming X-23 and X-Force, Honey, and both of them in X-Men. At least I'm assuming that's where they're gonna fall for affiliations. What do you think?
I think those two first. I think that's spot on. I also think both an A-Force.
Okay.
And potentially X-23 and Avengers.
Okay. She's been on the team at some point?
I don't know. I assume at this point...
Well, they put Cable and Deadpool on there, like...
Well, Deadpool, like, ran the Avengers for a while.
Yeah, okay.
He did!
Mm-hmm.
After Tony Stark got arrested and everything went over to Hammer, Deadpool was the Avengers' only income source because he monetized his personality because everyone loved Deadpool.
But a little...
And he was an Uncanny Avenger.
Deadpool was?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
It was Rogue, Quicksilver, Havoc, Captain America, uh, Deadpool.
Okay.
The one in Human, Synapse, was on that team.
Oh, I don't remember that much.
They,
Apparently,
they fought this mutant that like turned everyone into a bunch of like tree zombies.
tree zombies are no joke.
They aren't.
Where do you see yourself taking Honey Badger?
Oh,
Assuming she's X-Men.
she's a fill character for me. I'm putting her on most lists. I like very legitimately really like Honey Badger. She's gonna fill kind of that bullseye spot for me where I'm throwing her in because I have someone that I need to do damage and she's going to make sure that happens and get the heat off that person as well.
I think she'll be my typical go-to 2-threat.
Yeah.
I've got 2 points left. I think she'll be at the very... Right now, 2-point Black Widow is like my go-to. If I need a 2-threat, I usually throw her in there because she's got the long move. She's got stealth. Her attack, she can do stagger. If you really needed to do something offensively, I really like her as a 2-threat.
I've kind of
But Honey Badger, she might take over that spot.
I've kind of turned the corner on stealth because the only thing that stealth actually does is block range 4 and 5 attacks, which who cares? Hawkeye can't shoot her. That's it.
I mean, yeah, I feel like it's not as good as it
I overvalued
was.
stealth a lot for a long time.
I kind of agree.
And then I started running lists where it's like, oh yeah, I don't even have anyone that has above a 3 range. And that's like a regular occurrence.
Yeah.
Outside of Bullseye.
Yeah. I feel like it's not, for whatever reason, it's not as good as it used to be.
Yeah.
Stealth. So I feel like 2-point Black Widow has kind of fallen out of favor of those go-to 2 points. And for the longest time, I didn't take Okoye just because
it was the popular choice.
Same
thing.
I just didn't want to do what everybody does.
I always threw in. I loved Rocket and Nebula as my 2-point throw-ins. Adored them.
Rocket, I've grown to like Nebula more.
Yeah.
I haven't tried Bullseye as a 2-point 2-threat yet. But he'll definitely be in there at some point. Who am I missing? Oh, Toad sometimes, depending on the crisis we were playing.
Yeah.
If I knew he could potentially try to grab something.
Especially once I realized that I was playing Toad wrong for a long time. I thought he could secure from that range too, not just interact with objectives.
Oh, right.
So, but I still like Toad as well. Especially because I'm going to get in someone's face and spit acid on him to get Incinerate. I know I shouldn't. I know that's
Wargaming Dad will tell you you're doing it wrong.
That's correct. But I also love Incinerate.
So do you feel like Honey Badger is an example of power creep, or for like, oh, she's at the top of our 2-threat list, or is it just,
No, because she's not at the top of my 2-threat list. Because...
Is it more just she's new and I want to try her all the time?
She's a specialist for sure. I love her in Crime Syndicate. I love her backing up Kingpin. Making sure that Kingpin's damage is going to get through and just murder somebody.
Ugh,
getting in between a cluster of characters and getting that 1 die less for Cane Laser.
Yeah.
Things like that. Same with Vision. I love her as a support tactical piece. But if I'm running heavy melee, I'm going to need a range. And I'm going to take a rocket, or I'm going to take a significantly more mobile piece like Nebula. And I'm going to use Bullseye whenever I can.
Can you imagine the one turn you get where Honey Badger's in the middle of a bunch of characters, ankle biting them all, because you're playing like Game of Shelters or something. You've got Ghost Rider, who does, what is it, Flames of Hell? Is that his beam?
Something like that.
But you also just played Bitter Rivals because you are unimaginative.
Yeah, way ahead of you. Way ahead of you.
And it's just like, oh, you just don't get defense dice, apparently.
You always roll a minimum of 1, but
like you get Incinerator from the first Flames of Hell, and then you do it again, and it's like, oh, you're all at -3 dice.
Well, and generally I find myself going up usually against some heavily defensible characters. You have a penchant to like characters that murder people and have good defenses. Danny does as well.
I like the heavy hitters for sure.
Yeah. So, like, it's sometimes difficult. It's like, well, I have to rely on Incinerate. I have to rely on guaranteed damage and throws because I know I'll be able to get that through against some of the higher defensible characters. Incinerate, Ankle Biter, and Bitter Rivals, all stacking together,
Yeah.
yes, is absolutely something that makes blood rush from the normal parts of my body. Yep.
That's a big old moment.
Uh-huh.
No, thank you.
So to be able to have potentially 3 defensive dice lower on like an Angela, on a Hulk, on a She-Hulk,
Yeah.
on a convocation characters that have used the Ironbound books of Shumugo Wrath, like, yes.
No,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
That is Horos. Mitch just team up with Thor because he knows he's so bad. Just sure being there will help. Wouldn't be an episode of Wait That I Roll Wild if Mitch didn't have some kind of Thor hate.
And think about the power combo with Ankle Biter, Mental Domination, and Cassandra Nova. Being able to mentally dominate an opponent to move closer to Honey Badger to then attack their own teammate. Yes. Yes.
I can't wait to use her.
I know Mitch is super excited about any time Cassandra Nova makes it to the table.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'll have to use her next time I play. I'm reading the Grant Morrison run. I just read a bunch of stuff about Cassandra Nova. She's awesome.
Yeah. She Indiana Joneses and doesn't even wear a hat.
Right. Well, she started with a hat. Yeah, she got rid of it. Grant revealed that she looks kind of like Charles Xavier. So what are they? March release? I think is the plan, because I believe Juggernaut, Rogue Gambit, Colossus Magic are all next month.
Mm-hmm.
I believe is what it's supposed to be. So I think these guys aren't until March, which sounds so far away.
It really does.
Sometimes I forget we're actually like halfway through January almost.
It's stupid. Yesterday was Christmas.
Right? It seems like it. Super excited for her. Super excited for that box. You want to talk a little bit about a big reveal we got on like Tuesday?
Yes.
With a real sexy picture.
So we got a picture of Shadowlands Daredevil, Elektra, and a group of hand ninjas. Which is super cool. After the reveal earlier this month of Nick Fury Jr. and the Shield Grunts.
Cool.
We
Cool.
finally got a little bit of information on what the Grunts actually are. And we actually checked a whole ton of boxes last week, Danny and I, as far as what we thought that these might be.
Nice.
That they wouldn't be gaining power. They don't. They can't interact with objectives.
Makes sense.
They do die when you just kill them. And yeah, so they don't daze. They just immediately get KO'd, and they have to act like a minion on the controlling character's turn.
Which is really cool. I'm pretty sure I would be surprised if the parent model doesn't have a way to bring Grunts back after you KO them.
I wouldn't be shocked about that either.
I'd be surprised if they didn't have that. So
especially with some of the language that they use in these paragraphs, saying that they just fall down to get replaced by others, and I forget the exact.
Also, we had gotten though the typical like Amazon leak where they showed just like the name of the product, so we knew Nick Fury Jr. with Shield agents were coming.
Yeah.
But the Daredevil one was worded really weird, where it said Shadowlands Daredevil and Elektra hand ninjas, and we're like, that's so weird that we're getting a second Daredevil and hand ninjas before Elektra, but so they're her hand ninjas, and we were all confused about it. And then they showed the picture. It was like, okay, good. It was Daredevil, Elektra, and hand ninjas. They just typed it wrong or whatever, and it's like, awesome. I'm not like a huge Elektra fan, but I'm excited for it. She looks cool. I like Elektra well enough.
There was I've always been a massive fan of the Thunderbolts. One of the more recent runs that I read was Thunderbolts led by Red Hulk, Thunderbolt Ross, that had Agent Venom, Ghost Rider, Punisher, Deadpool, and Elektra. Just a black and red murder squad. And that's what they did, except they were doing like more covert, like, no, we're going to go into this country and we're going to murder the entire like government system or whatever. But really gave me an appreciation of Elektra, and especially the dynamic between Punisher and Elektra.
Okay.
Like, absolutely respected one another, and like kind of had that like everyone else here is idiots. Like, let's just go in there and murder these people and then get out.
I did really gain more of an appreciation for Elektra from the Daredevil Netflix show. She was really good on that.
Yes.
I mean, everything about that show was so good.
The Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck. I completely agree.
Yeah, Jennifer Garner's Elektra solo movie. You know, if you want to...
I sometimes forget that happened.
Yeah, I tried to.
You watched it?
I did. I think I Redboxed it. I think I rented it from Redbox or something. It is bad. I don't remember almost anything about it. It was awful.
I remember seeing commercials or like the trailer or something. There was like animal people or people that turned to animals.
They had like tattoos that they could use or something. I don't really remember. I think Jennifer Garner was fine as Elektra. Would have been nice if they actually got somebody Greek, but whatever. It was the early 2000s, so they didn't care about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think she was bad in Daredevil, but her solo movie was pretty trash. Because the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie does have a fair bit of redeeming qualities.
Well, and it's one of those ones that got better, significantly better with the director's cut. Like...
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen that.
So, I mean, there's not a whole lot there, but the couple scenes that you saw that that he was able to save were like, wow, these were bangers, and actually added a whole lot of context. I mean, the worst bullseye ever. A pretty solid Kingpin, at least.
I like Colin Farrell's Bullseye. He was totally a caricature.
Yeah.
But I thought that I liked that about it. I like Colin Farrell when he just gets to do whatever the hell Colin Farrell wants to do.
That's fair. That's certainly what it seemed like.
Yeah.
He was having fun with it, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, so we also found out on the stream that Shadowlands Daredevil is going to be a new affiliation leader for Criminal Syndicate.
Yeah, that is exciting completely. I don't know much about Shadowlands Daredevil, so that is a complete surprise to me. Love it. I love multiple leaders for affiliations. More of that, please.
Shadowlands Daredevil is if Batman went Red Hood instead of having to have a Robin murdered to become the Red Hood.
Right.
Daredevil,
Sure,
Shadowlands Daredevil is like, all right, sometimes you just have to fight crime by controlling crime.
I love that idea. I need to read this run.
It's stellar.
Do you know who it's by?
No.
Okay.
I only know authors and stuff if you've told me 9 times.
Okay, fair. I'm going to look that up on Marvel Unlimited quick.
But no, it's super stellar. Super excited that they're putting out this particular Daredevil and that he's going to be a leader of Crime Syndicate. In addition to, I believe they also said that his affiliation ability will be kind of similar to, or like the opposite-ish of Miles Morales' Spider-Man's. So what I assume that to be is actually similar to the Spider-Foe's affiliation ability, where maybe you are re-rolling opponent's defense dice instead of
like a copy leadership.
So the thing is that out of the things that could be considered as opposite of...
They said it's opposite Miles
Morales, which to me reads one of two things. X-Force, you're re-rolling attack dice instead of defense dice.
Yeah, again, don't want to repeat.
Right. Or you're re-rolling their... Maybe you're re-rolling their attack
That's
dice.
what I was just thinking. Maybe every time you are attacked, once per turn when your Criminal Syndicate character is attacked, you can force your opponent to re-roll an attack die.
That could be.
I'm not a huge fan of that.
Yeah.
But that would be one that I'd have to play a few times to see. If it happened every turn, it could be pretty... Eventually, it would add up. Kind of like the new Oscorp weaponry. It's so much better because law of numbers, you'll eventually have it work where you save damage.
Maybe because they're a murder squad, they count blanks as defense successes while not holding or contesting objectives. Because because Miles Morales can reroll skulls if they're holding objectives.
I hope it's something offensive from what you're telling me about the whole Shadowlands thing, which was written by Andy Diggle.
The old Diggle.
Which is a great name.
I could go for a Diggle.
But yeah, I mean, we're here for wild speculation. So if it's opposite of that's such a weird way to word it, because it can mean a bunch of things. Like you said, the first thing it makes me think of is...
Or maybe it's Nebula's passive, innate. Maybe they get to re-roll attack dice if they are attacking a character holding an objective. That actually makes a shit ton of sense.
That'd be really cool for a whole affiliation ability.
I'm actually stamping it right now. They could re-roll an attack dice, including skulls, if they are attacking a character holding an objective or
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And I like the offensive nature to that.
Yeah.
I think Miles Morales allows you to reroll 1 defense die.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also, that could be a skull if you're holding or contesting an objective.
Correct.
So I feel like maybe it's...
I feel like there's another aspect of that affiliation ability that maybe I'm forgetting.
I think that's all of it. But I feel like if you could re-roll all of your attack die against somebody with an objective, I think that's too much for an affiliation ability. Maybe it'll be you can... And then you're just X-Force. If you can re-roll an attack die if they're holding it... It's just X-Force, but worse. Maybe you get to re-roll an attack die, but you can also re-roll skulls if your target is holding or contesting.
Yeah, I'm not in love with that because then it is just X-Forces but better.
With a little extra something. Yeah. I like I forgot what you said already.
Pretty much that.
Yeah. I hope it's something offensive if it's opposite of Miles. But obviously there's so many ways that you go with that.
One skull counts as a success on attacks if you're attacking a... So that's what I could see it being.
Okay, I like that.
One skull counts as a success. Maybe not a crit. It doesn't need to be insane. But one skull counts as a success on attack rolls if you are attacking a target that is holding an objective or contesting an objective.
So I'm okay. That seems like a leadership level ability. It doesn't seem too good or not good enough. That I'd be okay with that.
This box also comes with a bunch of tactics cards.
5.
5.
Which is not a small amount.
It is not a small amount. No crisis, but...
Yeah, that's a little surprise. That's very surprising, actually. Neither does Nick Fury Jr.
Right.
Which is, again, very surprising. They've gotten very sporadic.
So, and here's the thing on whether they delineate on this or not. Current rule says... If the character's on there, the character's on there, right? So even if there's multiple versions, the same alias. So if he is an affiliation leader for Crime Syndicate, that means he's on the Crime Syndicate list.
Yes.
Which should mean that you can use the vanilla Daredevil and Crime Syndicate. He will be added to that list as a whole.
Well, I'm sure they're going to call him Shadowlands Daredevil instead of Daredevil.
Same alias, though.
No, but affiliation lists go by...
Oh, it does? Have they separated Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man on affiliation lists?
Yes.
They have?
Pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Because he's a leader. Because Spider-Man is on Web Warriors. Amazing Spider-Man is a leader for Web Warriors.
Okay.
You can't then have Amazing Spider-Man and Spider-Man in the same squad, of course.
Right.
But you can on the same roster now. So I would be shocked. Well, we know from the title of the box that he's Shadowlands Daredevil. Like Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can't take Doctor Strange to lead the Defenders and then take Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme on your Defenders.
Right.
But they're both Defenders.
Right.
They're both Convocation.
No breathing.
Also.
Right.
For sure. I think Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme is a Defender. Yeah, because people were all confused on Facebook. Like, why would he be on there if you can't take the leader?
But separate group of affiliations then. So does that mean we'll get Shadowlands Daredevil on Cabal and Crime Syndicate? Maybe Spider Foes?
Yeah.
And will that mean that then he's not on Avengers and Defenders and Web Warriors?
Yeah, that makes sense to me. He seems like a very different, like the same person, but a very different character.
Yeah. I think he's also the one that went into the hospital and really broke Bullseye.
Ooh.
Like, put him in the hospital and then just went in there and kept like...
Does he still have his radar sense and everything?
I can't remember. I believe so.
Okay.
But...
I'm really interested to see how they do Daredevil differently because he's so... Not one note, but like he doesn't have a ton of stuff going on.
Right.
And I feel like they really nailed Daredevil with his original. So like this kind of bad guy version of Daredevil. I'm really curious to see how they'll do it differently.
I think it'll be similar to the Stranges. I think it'll be the same threat.
I was just going to say, I hope he's a 3 threat because we already have a 4 threat leader for Criminal Syndicate.
Yeah.
I like it when they're different threat levels.
I do as well. But if they're going to make it effectively a very different character that exists on different affiliation lists, You're right. I do want different threat values for leaders, but maybe a 5.
A 5-threat Daredevil?
He has all the radar senses. He has all the rerolls and blanks of successes, except he's just more lethal.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't be totally against it. We were all surprised when Daredevil was a 4-threat when he came out.
You know what? I am calling it right now. Shadowlands Daredevil, medium movement, not long.
I 100% agree.
Yep.
I think he'll be a 3-threat medium move, and he'll be all about offense.
Yeah.
I don't know much about the character, but that's where I'm going with it.
3. So, but I always do this, and I'm always wrong when I do this. 100% of the time. If I love a character, I want them to be a higher threat because I want them to be an absolute badass.
Well, yeah, I want a 6-threat Iceman, absolutely. We're going to get 3-threat, though.
I mean...
He's an Omega level mutant. He's going to be 3-threat.
He's going to get ankle bitered. But I hope he gets stronger. I hope he's a 4 or better. But, yeah, because that's what I want. Yeah, he's going to be a 3.
I'll have to read some of the Shadowlands story and come back with a bit more. I'm gonna go. I want him to be a 3, only because Kingpin's already a 4-threat leader. The only reason.
Right.
I don't want a higher threat because Criminal Syndicate doesn't have a ton of high threat characters, but I want to use Omega Red in Criminal Syndicate. I want to use sometimes Green Goblin. You know, I want to use some more of those higher threat characters. Venom. That went up a while.
So here's the thing, though. When I think the cool thing about heroes turning into villains is that the narrative is always like, now they're unleashed, now they're not holding back. So I think by making him a 3 over a 4 or a 5 is doing a disservice to that type of flip in a hero.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Because I think that's the whole point. Shadowlands Daredevil is Daredevil unrestrained.
He should be more dangerous than regular Daredevil.
Correct.
I get it. Okay.
So maybe that's it. Maybe he is a 3-threat or a 4-threat, and they balance it out a little bit by maybe he doesn't have as much health. Maybe he's not as defensive. Maybe he's just absolutely aggro.
Which I would love.
Yeah.
I love those characters.
So I'm super stoked for him. I'm actually really excited for Elektra. Here's what I hope we see.
Okay.
Which means we won't get it. I do want a 4-threat Elektra. I want stealth at range 2. I want super stealth.
That would be pretty cool, but
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
I don't either. Once again, these are the things I want. So, long movement, super stealth.
Where's bright red? Come on.
Yeah, listen, it's stealth. Stealth could be her being very quiet.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we got Gamora with stealth wearing bright white, so.
Right.
Okay.
Pierce and bleed on everything.
Yes.
And re-rolling dice.
Auto bleed.
And blanks as
Some
successes.
places.
And a counterattack.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah,
I just
she's
want
in
her-
4-threat territory for sure.
Yeah, I just want her to have everything.
She'll be a 4-3-3 for defenses. If she's 4-threat, then she's 6-6 for health.
Nope, she's actually going to be lower health.
Okay.
She's going to be 5-6.
Oh, because she's so hard to hit.
Yep.
5-6. More when she flips. Okay.
5-5.
5-5. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make it dangerous, you know?
A little bit of a glass cannon. She's got a strength 6 builder.
Yeah.
Or is it only strength 5 because she's got pierce and bleed?
It's only strength 5 because she's got pierce and bleed.
Auto bleed.
Auto bleed,
Pierce on
elusive.
a wild.
Auto bleed, pierce on a wild, and elusive on a wild.
And elusive.
And elusive.
On her builder?
On her builder.
Ooh, so what's her spender like?
Her spender.
Well, she's got 2 builders.
Yes,
she's
'cause
got
she
a
also
one power generating spender where she can throwing stars or throw her sai.
And that one has bleed on a wild.
Okay.
But
Strength range 4, strength 4.
yeah, yep. Or maybe strength 5, but it costs a power.
I don't like that.
Yeah. But her spender, 4 power, has a movement component. Absolutely.
Automatically move medium after the attack is resolved.
Yep. Does something extra if they're bleeding. And she can reroll as many dice in it if she's bleeding, if they're bleeding. And it's staggers.
She's gonna have a flurry, hit.
Yeah.
And wild and hit. She can do another strike for free.
She gets a throw for free afterwards. Really
Her
makes
throw
it up.
attack, not
Yeah.
a throw.
So, correct. Yeah. She can't
she
throw
should not
that
have a throw.
All right, so let me reformat this. So it is range 3 for 4 power, strength 6.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
It can reroll as many dice as she wants if the opponent is bleeding. It also applies bleed. It also has pierce and elusive on a wild, and no, it doesn't have that.
Was it now you're just her builder, but a little bit better?
Yes, yeah. So forget all that. Once again, start over. Wipe it clean.
All right, so we got range 3, strength 6, power 4.
4 power. Can reroll as many dice as she wants as long as the opponent is bleeding. It
Shark?
It auto bleeds, and if she rolls a hit and a crit, she can make her ranged attack for free after moving away from the opponent short.
Does it have to be against the same target, or does it have to be a different target?
It just says she may make.
Okay, I like that.
It's like Sabretooth's.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She also has Sabretooth's counterattack.
Yes, and healing factor.
She's just Sabretooth.
And
now.
Aggressive. Yeah, she's just better Sabretooth now.
No, I like Sabretooth.
I also like Sabretooth.
She's definitely long movement, too. I don't know if you said that.
Yeah,
obviously.
And she has charge.
What?
And
she's still 4 threat?
And hit and run.
Wait, what?
It's called charge and run.
I didn't know that you loved... she moves, attacks, and then moves again.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you loved Elektra so much. Why is she so good?
She's a badass.
And she has stealth. At range 2. I like this character a lot. She's an auto-include. Especially with Blade.
Mm-hmm.
Would she... I don't know much about the Midnight Suns. Would she be on Midnight Suns, do you think?
She is now. You heard it here first.
She's definitely Criminal Syndicate.
Yes.
Would she be Web Warriors, do you think? Probably not.
Could be Defenders.
Okay.
Cabal.
Probably. She's in a weird spot because she's
and A-Force.
Sometimes a good guy, sometimes a bad guy kind of thing. A-Force I could see.
And Weapon X.
Do we know that the Hand Ninjas go with Shadowlands Daredevil, or do they go with Elektra? Which one's the parent?
Both. Neither.
He comes to the box and they don't, not the parent. I think
it's Elektra.
I didn't watch the stream, but I don't know. The whole point of Shadowlands Daredevil, he took over like Kingpin's territory, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't leader of the Hand at that time, right?
I don't
feel
know.
like Elektra should be the leader of the ninjas.
I'm coming out really strong as if I've actually read any of these or have a frame of reference. No, I'm just shooting from the hip.
You say it with confidence, people believe you.
That's 100%. So, Mitch says threat 8 stats, but only a 4 on the table. Accurate. So she only has 1 energy defense and no mystic defense.
Mitch also thinks both are going to be the parent. Oh, was it confirmed in the stream they're both parents? I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I think I definitely want Elektra to be the parent of the Hand Ninjas. I think that's super cool. I think that might bump her up to a 4.
And in the grunt entry, it did talk about how they were going to have the parents were going to have abilities to bring them in and dismiss them and suspend them and stuff. So maybe these are you bring in the Hand Ninjas within range 3, they attack something, and then they poof out of there. They're gone.
They're a good poofer.
Yeah, they're poofing all over the place.
I love the idea of Daredevil bringing them in one spot. They do something, disappear, and then Elektra's like, no, over here, and then poof, they're there again. I mean, they're ninjas. They should be all over the place. You should not know where those ninjas are going to show up.
Apparently, that's already confirmed, too. Apparently, we're on the money.
Man, we are nailing it.
Right?
I should have watched that stream, but I didn't.
Yeah, so they probably said, that she's a 4 threat that has super stealth and is Sabretooth, but...
Secretly, we did watch the stream. We're just playing it off like we're making this up.
Right?
So, since we got there a little already, what do you think of Grunts? I know you talked about it a bit with Nick Fury Jr. Last week.
I think it's cool, and I think they alleviated a lot of the concerns people would have, too. They're like, this is not a swarm thing. This is specific characters can bring them in for specific actions, and then they're done, and they're over, or they're dismissed. They can't contest. They don't gain power. That means that they are going to be incredibly self-contained. I think if you are doing it, this is in fact the way to do it.
How do you feel about 3 people on a medium base as the grunt?
I have no feelings on that at all.
I mean, obviously you're not going to paint them and whatnot, but how do you what do you think of it for the aesthetics and working in the game?
I wish I had stronger feelings on it. I don't.
Okay.
I think it's fine.
I was just curious, like, if you loved it, if you hated it, or if you didn't really care. I think it looks cool. I like the idea. I see a lot of a lot of both sides in Facebook groups where people want nameless grunts at one threat. People hate the idea of nameless grunts at one threat. Like you said, I think this is the way to do it. You only get them with certain characters. They can't do a lot of things that regular characters can do. They're easy to take down. And I like how it's not you have one model of a single shield agent who's just who cares who it is.
Correct.
I love the idea that this base you put down has 3 awesome looking ninjas on it because who cares who they are, but it looks awesome. And it's superhero stuff. That's what it should be. That should be like number 1. It looks fucking cool.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I like this.
I love things that waste specifically one or more of my opponent's actions.
Yep, fair.
Grunts will waste one or more of my opponent's actions. Stagger wastes one of my opponent's actions. Ankle
You having 1 stamina left. Waste an action usually to get rid of that 1 stamina.
Parting shot, making me further away, waste another of your action to have to charge or come at me. Yeah, I like things. I love the resource management of affecting my opponent's turn.
Cool. I'm really excited to see the grunt card. To see like, do they have 1 stamina? Do they have 3? Because there's 3 people on there. Like, what do their defenses look like? Are they going to be super crappy? Are they like 2-2-2? Are they the standard 3-3-3? Like, I'm really curious to see what that's going to look like and how exactly they work. We know that parents can bring them in. They don't start on the table at deployment, right?
I'm not
pretty sure they said that. They don't start the game. You don't start with grunts on the table. I'm pretty sure they come in later. I did watch the one stream where Dallas was painting Nick Fury Jr. and he talked a lot about the grunts. I'm pretty sure that's what he was saying. They don't start on the table, but now I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it might be case by case. Who knows? Shield agents may start in, but you know what I mean?
They got that cool rappelling rope. They got to come in later.
No, that's very fair. So and they're keeping that thematic as well, where the ninjas are poofing out of smoke, tactical explosions. They get summoned. Mitch says. Mitch, I'm glad you're here, man.
Because I know when I was watching the stream, I was like basically live tweeting it to our Discord. So thank you, Mitch, for having that information faster than I could. I do love that they don't have an injured side. You take them down once, they're done until they come back, probably. As far as we knew.
I think they're doing a good job with it. This was the way to implement it. I'm glad they weren't implemented at the start and they waited effectively for the Hadron Collider that is internet Facebook groups to already kind of put the information out there that was unasked for about what they wanted and wanted to hate about it, so they could make those informed decisions.
It was one of the things, a lot of people obviously, I don't think this game gets compared to HeroClix too much, other than it's a miniature game with a Marvel license. It's so different that it's hard to compare it. And one of the things I hated about HeroClix from the very beginning is they had nameless shield agents and whatnot, and then they had like shield medics. They had a healing ability, and that was in every single list. You put your shield medic in first because they cost almost no points. They couldn't take hits at all, but you just ran them up behind your heroes to heal them, and it was an auto-include every time because they were so easy to fit in. And I really like they didn't go this route. Didn't go that route. I like what they're doing with the grunts. I like how they're going to be some kind of support, but I doubt they're going to be that kind of thing where because you might not want to take Elektra every single time. You might not want to take Nick Fury every single time to get the grunt. I don't think they're going to be an auto-include. I think they'll just be something cool, new added to the game.
Yeah. Stop playing with that dice.
Why?
Because it's making sounds on the mic.
Oh. I got something in my hands.
But yeah, no, I'm super excited for him. I'm excited to see more. I am calling it right now. It's canon. We will get a new MODOK with Agents of AIM.
Please. I didn't care about MODOK before, but since Dagna gifted that one to me and we have Modagna, I'd be okay with that.
We get Brodok.
I don't know enough about MODOK, but...
So, at one point, the Runaways fought Brodok, who was a Fabio-looking character with a massive head. I think it was called like a bona fide organism designed only for kissing.
Oh my god.
And he had like a dating business. And anyone that turned him down, he turned into giant, hideous monsters. And that's why the Runaways had to take him down.
Oh, he was a Runaways villain?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was like MODOK went out, to California to like reinvent himself.
So can we get this new MODOK as an affiliation leader for AIM? I don't know who else would be on that, but he can have his AIM grunts.
Yeah.
Which sounds, everybody loves bucket
We need more villain affiliations.
Arnim Zola would be a good one too.
Arnim Zola, yeah.
I love Arnim Zola. The what's the super adaptoid? Is that what he has?
I think so.
His face is on. Speaking of totally new, different stuff, do you want to talk about our upcoming totally new way to play the game?
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about it a little last week. So we're going to be making, at least I'm assuming this is what you mean, we're going to be making kind of like tactical war decks, effectively custom affiliation decks for each affiliation as kind of a new alternate way to play to get victory points. If you watched any of our streams over the last few weeks over on the Twitch, at twitch.tv/professional casual network, we were playing a New Year's Eve kind of proto event where every turn characters would draw new resolutions, and then we kind of scaled that down into the team was drawing resolutions that you had to complete to get victory points. And from there, we're going to turn that into affiliation-specific card decks, where you will kind of draw new objectives or swap them out via the gameplay, and it'll be customized to that particular affiliation. So you'll kind of have win conditions and victory point conditions that are based around actually playing that affiliation.
And we're going to be theming them around like how that particular affiliation would normally act. Like X-Men would have way more teamwork type objectives they have to fulfill compared to like Criminal Syndicate, who are all just kind of doing their own thing under the heel of a powerful leader. I'm really excited for this. I can't wait to work on developing it. Yeah. That'll be once we roll. We'll be playtesting it a whole bunch, of course. And this is something that kind of replaces the crises, right?
Yes. Yep. So we'll have to, obviously kind of nail those down. There should still be objectives of some form on the table.
Yes.
Maybe this is something that you can play in addition to regular Crisis Eye or in place of. You can kind of make it.
I think it would be cool to have kind of like each affiliation has like 3 different like maps that you can instead of choosing the crisis, you choose the map where different objectives are, where your all the decks have a way to interact with those objectives in their unique ways.
I like that. Like they kind of come pre-bundled with their own. Like we're playing against Criminal Syndicate, and they have these 3 particular things on how the map could be set up. It certainly needs to be more than 1.
Oh yeah, that's why it's 3. Yeah. Just seems to be the magic number. So
well, then it's an analog for. You know what I mean? When you come and you build your crisis, when you're playing a standard game, you have your 2 decks of 3. Now you have 1, but they'll be custom fitted like a tailored crime syndicate suit.
That's why I went with 3 because we had the 3 secures and 3 extracts.
So then you're still grabbing, and I like that too because I love the interaction of like, oh well, I'm playing crime syndicate and I have these, but how does that affect A forces? Because I'm going to be playing against specifically one of their 3 or. Just Inhumans. There's going to be fart gas all around, and they just melt X-Men. So,
but yeah, the whole idea was just to have like a professional casual network unique way to play the game, just to mix it up a bit. Because we love Ultimate Encounters, we love the organized play kits. The standard way to play with the crises is so good, but we want to have something unique and original.
And so these will be available to purchase, but we'll be giving them all away at some tier on the Patreon as well. So if you're not a member over there, make sure to go. You can join for as little as $1, assuming that there are still spots open for that particular tier, or you can get access to the Discord via the Twitch. If you use that free Amazon Prime Twitch subscription, you can throw that at us at twitch.tv/professional casual network, and you'll get access to the Discord. And I think I have it turned off where it doesn't get taken away either. It's kind of your back door in. I always like to leave the back door open.
Yes, I think this is a fantastic idea. I think it's It's super cool, super good. I love it. I know it was kind of inspired by like the Maelstrom tactical decks
Yes.
from Warhammer 40K
Yep.
when they first came out. I loved it when they added that, where every turn you drew cards and that was your objective for the turn.
Yeah.
I thought that really opened up the game to be less, okay, I'm just going to obliterate your army as fast as possible. Now you're working towards these certain things, and I love the idea of customizing it to the affiliations. I think that's super cool, where like Black Order is going to be all about dealing damage. Right, X-Men is going to be about working together in some ways. I love I don't know why popping in my head is like making sure you get 2 characters on an objective kind of thing, like to get points, because they have to work together to do it. And there's so many things out there. You know, Web Warriors have to move all over the place.
Yes.
You
Once
know-
again, the Inhumans have to fart on X-Men a whole bunch.
Ah, man, those Inhumans farting all over the
They
place.
do. I mean, luckily they got Lockjaw there to really kind of carry the team with pepperoni dog farts, but
Oh, broccoli dog fart.
that's why you can
That's the
teleport away
worst.
from him. He just the old toot and teleport, what they call it.
TNT.
The old TNT. It's
Dynamite.
But I think that is it for this week.
Yeah, we were fairly succinct. It's only almost 20 after 8.
Yeah.
We only went on like 18 tangents.
Listen, once again, my nightstand situation. I've always had way too many. But
You haven't been able to fix that one so your cords can come out of it?
no,
That's too bad.
right? It would have to. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
But that said, make sure to go over to professionalcasual.com. You can find the most recent episodes of all of our podcasts there. Check out the Facebook. That's where we drop the most recent, relevant, and best news. Facebook.com/professionalcasual. Whole bunch of other socials there on the site as well. Check them out. And always, every Monday, 7 p.m., just like this show. Every Thursday, 7 p.m. on the YouTube. But Monday is over on the Twitch. Come, play terrifying sounds that scare the shit out of us. While
That
we play.
applause.
Watch some super cool cosplay that's definitely high level that you will certainly see people cosplaying at the next convention if those ever exist.
Hey, it helps with your dice rolls, apparently.
It does.
Oh, we never even talked about our Monday game.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that real quick. I got my ass fucking handed to me.
It was shocking. I actually tabled Tim, which I've never done in this game. Like, I never
Yeah.
tabled anybody in this game. It happens very rarely. But when Rocket gets 4 plasma gun shots in a turn,
and they all
and
do,
then a Hadron,
and they all do heaps of damage.
This game really made me appreciate Nebula. I always
Yeah.
would joke and say Nebula doesn't do anything. I've never had good luck with her. She opened up a can this
Yeah.
game, which makes me more excited for Honey Badger, because I think Honey Badger is just a variant of, she's very slightly different Nebula.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I like her more now.
Mhm.
Oh my God, that was a bloodbath. I had 3 characters out of 6 at the end on the table,
Yeah.
and that was it. Like, Rocket just hosed Iron Fist and Moon Knight. They had no chance. He was just, it was like the scene in the prison in the first Guardians where he's just on Groot's shoulder just going, blasting everything.
Moon Knight and Iron Fist got wiped out.
Deadly Duo is such a good card.
First round, what's the Midnight Suns?
Siege of Darkness.
Siege of Darkness.
Oh, I was so scared of that card.
Out of the 3 attacks I think I got on that, I rolled 2 total successes.
And did no damage.
Did 0 damage. And I set it up too perfectly. I was like, everyone's going to move up. The characters that have an extra power at the start of their phase won't need to attack, but Moon Knight and Blade, I'll get into position to use their ranged attacks, which will automatically generate a power. So at the end of the first round, they're all going to get extra attacks as we are rushing towards those midpoints.
It was so typical Tim, where you set it up just right, and then the dice were like, nah.
I don't think so, Tim.
I was so scared of that card, and then when you played it, I was like, crap, already? This is going to hurt so bad. And then Rocket was just like, I don't get hit.
He was.
And Groot was like, I am Groot.
That group wasn't even protecting him either. He didn't need it.
No, right. I
Moon Knight
moved him a little
throwing
too far.
bullshit, Blade's throwing bullshit, Iron Fist is trying to like flying kick him, and no one can just hit this trash panda that doesn't even have a tree to protect him. That's the real power behind Rocket Raccoon is everyone thinks they need to work around Groot. They don't. They actually need to work around Rocket being unfucking touchable.
Yeah, well, when you roll 1 to 2 damage every time, and he blocks 1 no matter what with cover, and then I roll another success anyway, was like, all right, well, I blocked 2 of your 1, so.
But so end result, outside of dice rolls, what did you think of New Guardians? Because I think they're fucking badass now.
I think every because I took Star-Lord, Rocket and Groot, obviously I had Ronan, Nebula, and Gamora.
Everyone but Drax and Angela, right? Effectively?
Yeah. Because they've been used fairly recently, and they didn't get
Drax
changed.
a lot,
I was really disappointed that I didn't get to see much with Star-Lord because you punked him super fast.
Yeah.
I think he was KO'd round 2.
He was.
So I didn't get to use hit and run with him. He had the power gem, so I was ready for him to just jump all over the place. That was disappointing, but the rest of the team more than made up for it.
Right.
Rocket alone more than made up for it.
So, Big Chuck's here, everybody.
Oh,
Hey!
is this still going?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Hi, Internet.
So, we're talking about how Dan spread my cheeks and fucking annihilated me on
Well,
Monday.
Rocket just
It's
went
that you
right up
only got
there.
one, you know what I mean?
Listen, if I'm glad I could be your first. If you were gonna table someone, I'm glad it was me.
Hi, Internet.
I tested positive today, by the way. Just a heads up, quick. Only my beard, though. So,
Hell yeah. Listen, I'm looking for any excuse to have to go to work.
Mitch just said Guardians greater than Sam Spam. Sure.
I think so.
I like the
And
new
Sam
Guardians
Spam
a
with
lot.
more throws.
Oh, the only throw I had there was Ronan, and he never did it.
Oh yeah,
He barely attacked, though.
but I love New Guardians. I thought they were great before. I didn't necessarily even think they needed to get buffed, and they all got buffed. The affiliation is actually an affiliation now.
Yeah.
And they've always had banger tactics cards.
Oh, my God. I didn't realize how good they were. Crew of the Milano was so good for me.
And it's the second layer, too. It's like, oh, you can pay to remove them. Oh, and then they can't get any more.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking of the other one, but that one was also fantastic.
Yeah.
I was thinking Lovable Misfits. Was
Yeah.
another round where it was like, oh, Rocket gets a free attack. Oh, Groot gets a
Can't
free
believe
attack.
you're
They're
all-
dead now.
2 free attacks. Do you know how many times I stunned myself when I used that card?
I cannot believe I didn't do that.
You're on.
So, real quick, guys.
That's loud as shit.
Okay, so real quick. Do you think Angela has a place in Guardians anymore?
Sure.
With the new change? But realistically speaking, does she have a... Because originally the whole plan was for her to be the beat stick, smash you in the face because your affiliation bonus actually sucks. And they don't have a hard hitter anymore. Or they never really had a hard hitter anyway. Do you think that... Do you want me to just come over here where I belong?
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
how that works.
Do you think that instead, with the new affiliation bonus being so much better and them being able to kind of incorporate non-affiliated cheaper threats that can essentially now do what she could do, do you think, like, for instance, I know Venom's fitting in there really well
Yeah.
in Guardians. There's another person at a 4 that's fitting in there really well. I don't remember who it is now. Well, Ghost Rider in general is just doing just fantastic in Guardians.
Okay.
Do you think that there is any need to bring Angela, or is she just going with Cassandra Nova and Mitch's trash at this point?
I never liked Angela in Guardians. Because I thought Guardians was a swarm list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ronan's the highest and Gamora's the highest that you should be using there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think with the new affiliation, I think it makes Angela less useful there. You already have access to a bunch of long movers.
I think she's okay if you're playing a high threat like 20 or 19, just because she
Yeah.
does have so much mobility where she can jump around the board a ton in a single activation.
Yeah, that's very true.
You know, she's got multiple ways to move. Is she? I don't think she's necessary. I think she's always been solid. You know, there aren't that many physical-based 5 threats. We were talking about this a while ago, and we totally forgot about Angela
Yeah,
until
because
we get
Thor's
Juggernaut.
just too squishy to count as a physical-based 5 threat. Last time he was on the table,
Yeah.
he just died.
Yeah, every time.
Cable farted on him and he was just
It's
gone.
gone.
Completely accurate.
Pepperoni cable
Round
fart.
1.
Yeah. So
Honestly, I like Cable in Guardians now too.
Yeah.
just that additional ability to get some rerolls in there, or whatever it is their thing is that they do now.
Well, and
Yeah.
I thought the new affiliation was actually stronger than it was until I saw it in practice, where it's only one reroll for the entire round on a character.
Right.
Yeah, and you can use it on attack or defense roll.
But still, before you could like, listen, I really need this character to do damage, and you sack that tactics card and put all 3 on Star-Lord to get a shit ton of special conditions, or to make sure someone stays alive.
I
It
do wish
is
you
different.
could pile them up if you want. If you could do 2 on one and 1 on another, or all 3 on one. I do kind of wish you could do that, but I mean, 3 rerolls around is certainly not bad.
Correct.
As long as you don't kill Star-Lord before I get to use it more than twice.
Yeah, true. That's all I did. But at least the Ancient One did it, you know?
I get what Mitch is saying, that she's viable because she can grab a center extract and then get out of there. I also agree, he says I don't like the character in Marvel in general, which I totally agree with. That she's not a Marvel character. She was a Neil Gaiman character that was just brought in. So I thought she was a weird release.
Yeah, Spawn's confirmed, though, as a Guardians affiliation, which is super cool.
I would love to see Spawn in this game.
Right? Just make it like Soul Calibur. Every year they add one wacky character. We're going to have Darth Vader next year. And
I want a Star Wars version of this game. You can even use the Legion models. That's fine. Just give me this kind of skirmish, like, 3 or 4 on 3 or 4 kind of thing.
here's what I really hope. If they do that, I hope that it is compatible. I hope the threat and the power level scales the same, so that you can play them against each other.
So I don't really want to see Star Wars and Marvel characters on the same table.
No one wanted to see peanut butter and chocolate together, Dan, and then that car crash gave it to us, and now we have Reese's peanut butter cups.
That's that's how that happens.
I mean, you are tugging at my heartstrings with referencing Reese's, and I don't appreciate it.
I recently got into the game Dice Thrones, right?
Yes.
And they kickstarted an MCU version of it,
Oh, I'm
and
so
it is
excited.
compatible with the base game, and that's exactly how it should work.
That's different.
Why?
I don't know. It's not on this.
I'll tell you.
It's
I'll
taking
tell
it
you.
No,
out
I
of the
completely get
narrative.
it. It's not.
I'll say it's different in the sense of they're not the same scale. The base sizes are not the same.
Oh, for
From
Legion.
Legion to this.
Oh, it
so
doesn't necessarily. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
as Atomic Mass, we know you're listening. What we need you to do is go ahead and just release an entire new wave of just Star Wars figures that are scaled for MCP.
I'd buy them.
That's all I want. Thank you very much.
You know what? Take a cue from the big boys, right? Here's what you do.
Yep.
Discontinue Star Wars Legion.
Yeah.
Hold up. You're going to
Okay.
love this. You're going to love this. We're going to go full GW. Discontinue
Oh, no.
Star Wars Legion. Let people use the same models, but you have to rebase them and buy a brand new game system to make it compatible with Marvel Crisis Protocol. Then, when everyone gets sick of that and says, well, you've blown up our world and I've had to rebase all my stuff, then you come out with another new edition of Star Wars Legion and sell new bases where they can play it with those original Legion models that they've now converted to Marvel Crisis Protocol, but all they have to do is rebase them onto a new
Stop
base.
using your powers for evil. Just stop. Just stop.
Fair.
You're very creative. I appreciate it. What you're doing hurts my brain.
It's such a good idea. I don't know why no company has ever done that before.
I like what Mitch is saying. He wants a kung fu crisis protocol. Like, use this template for other genres. Does it have to be superhero?
Could it be Shang-Chi?
I would love to see Shang-Chi in this game.
I mean, I assumed more like people fucking have hard-ons to make
Aquafina? Yeah, that makes
Aquafina. I was
he gets
gonna say,
one bow shot a game.
but listen, it kills a dragon. So
She
as long
helped.
as Iron Fist isn't on the table, like you're fine. But here's how they would do it. I've lost it. It's gone. But it was such a good joke.
You said people have a hard on to make something.
Oh yes, one-on-one fighter game variants. I've seen a shit ton of King of Fighters, Street Fighter.
Here's the good news. There is a Street Fighter miniatures game that actually exists.
Oh,
That
Oh
is-
my god, they
that
look
is
so
like
good.
Apparently it's good.
It-
Also,
like the models look fantastic, but it is expensive as fuck.
yeah,
oh, gotcha.
because they're large. I think they're 75.
Yeah, they're much larger scale.
There's
They look
also
really good.
a pre-painted version of Pacific Rim that's like essentially a one-on-one,
Oh, that's kind of cool.
and it plays on like a hexile grid. It's actually super rad. I bought a lot of stuff for it because I thought they weren't painted
Oh,
models. I was like, oh, cool. I want to.
They're pre-painted models.
They're pre-painted models.
the Street Fighter one is too.
Whew.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do that. Wow.
Yeah, it's really awesome when like child labor from China can paint better than you. You know what I mean? Like it looks real good, you know?
The Street Fighter game I was very close to kickstarting, and then it was like, oh, you get like Ryu and Sagat for like $150.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
But now it's
And
like
it's
just
not
out.
as bad.
Now it's just out, and there's like every expansion that comes out, there's like a new character for it, and it's like $60.
It
Okay.
looks
It's very
cool.
GW of them, but it looks awesome. It looks really fun.
The game's supposed to be good, but yeah, the core box for that's like $150 and comes with like 8 characters.
Okay.
But they are
To be
bigger.
fair, there's only 10 characters in Street Fighter, actually. Let's go.
That's
I'm really disappointed. I was looking through it on Miniature Market, and they do have a Dan Hibiki, but he's in like an expansion box with 4 characters, and he's the only one I even recognize from the box, and it's like $60. And I was like, oh, never mind.
The only one
characters for $60 isn't bad.
the only one that matters is Zangief anyway. So
I
and
love
he's in the
Zangief.
core set.
He is, yeah.
Muscle Spirit #1.
And Vega was always my favorite of like
You
the
would
bad
like
He
guys.
would be, yeah. I was
I-
always E Honda.
Yo, I love you, Honda.
Yeah.
It was
The
Blanc,
Cyclops.
Vega
Blanca's
and Blanca
pretty cool.
were my top 2.
Did you just say E Honda is the Cyclops of Street Fighter?
What does that even mean?
Blanca's the Wolverine.
Yes, Blanca is the Wolverine.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Vega is the Iceman for sure. The only the people
I
who
thought you were
like
gonna-
him like him.
I thought you were going to say
Okay,
the other.
okay, I can see
I
that.
thought you were going to say the other Wolverine of Street Fighter.
No, that's too obvious. That's too obvious.
Vega's kind of the Gambit, honestly.
No, he's not.
No.
Sagat for sure is the Gambit.
Sagat?
Yeah.
I feel like you've already put a lot of thought into this because
Oh, I
that
have.
was a
I've
quick,
spent
good
hours
answer.
of my life thinking this through. Yeah.
But Sagat's a bad guy. Sagat's more like no, I can't say Sagat's the juggernaut when Zangief is just right there.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you got
You know?
Zangief.
Actually, a lot of people don't know this. Zangief, the Blob. You don't think
I don't
so?
disagree with these. Is the
You don't,
best
you
part.
don't think so? It's true.
Rose would absolutely be Rogue.
Oh, I was thinking Chun Li Rogue.
No.
No, she's definitely Jean for
Chun
sure.
Li Jean. Okay,
Chun-Li.
okay.
Yeah.
Fair, fair.
I was almost thinking Shadow Cat for
The
Chun-Li.
question is, who's Balrog? Who's Gali? That's the real question.
Okay.
Who's got-
Balrog.
Charlie
Oh, I think I know who that is.
Guile with
or Guile?
a more thingy.
Oh, well, Guile's Cyclops.
No,
No.
he's Captain America.
Oh, okay. Oh, now we're leaving
But
X-Men now. I'm
also-
Actually,
confused.
no, that
I
tracks
can't
though.
keep
If
up.
Guile is Captain America, Cyclops would absolutely be Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Just a different leader. Same stuff, different day.
Yep. Uh-huh.
I'm trying to think of other Street Fighter characters. I'm digging Balrog.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who Balrog would be. I always
Beast?
like Balrog.
I don't
don't like it.
I don't like
no,
it, but I think you're
Dalsim
right.
for Beast, I think. He was a scientist.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
No, we
So
got
anyway,
way off
anyway,
topic
folks,
here.
I already did all the plugs. Go to this professionalcasual.com. Follow us all there. And we will see you next time on Wait, Did I Roll a Wild? Your Marvel Crisis Protocol Pavlog.
Bye.
Bye.